Let's talk. This morning was rough. This morning has been so freaking rough. This is actually my second attempt to go to work. My second attempt. Because I get all the way to work. I work about 20 minutes away from, and I get to the road like 2 minutes away from the shop, and I realize I don't even have shoes on.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser!
So I had to drive all the way back home, get my work shoes. I call these my kitchen shoes because they look like I work in somebody's restaurant, but it's all good. So yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna attempt to go to work for real this time, and then yeah. So as you can see, this haircut is already started. I was recording it on my phone initially, but I had switched over to the M50, so it's still trying to focus in and whatever. So I started off with the bald line to the blade all the way open, and now I'm just working on fading that panel down, trying to make sure that transition from bald to the blade open is good. So then I'm going to start with the one open, trying to make sure that section is as clean as possible, and then fade that down to the first panel. That's typically how I do all my fades. I'll make the guideline and then just go down into the next panel. It helps me from raising the fade. So as you can see, we're just working that out. I got the half guard on it now, trying to marry those two panels together. So now I'm making my last panel. That's the two close off the ridge of the head. He has a number 3 on top, so the two close blends into it pretty nicely. So now we're working with that 1.5 guard and working our way down into that second panel, trying to match all 3 of those panels together. A lot of the times we get caught up in what guard that we're using. In all actuality, it really doesn't matter as long as it's helping the transition and the gradients. I noticed for me that was one of the things that I really struggled with in the beginning is, oh, I can't use this guard this high, or thinking that it was crazy to use a certain guard at a certain height just because you think you're gonna raise the fade. But at the end of the day, as long as it's matching the fade around it and making sure that's a nice flow to the haircut and the fade, then it really doesn't matter what guard it is. You're focused on gradients, and that's really it. So as you can see, we're still working that 1.5, trying to marry it into that second panel with the one open. So now we got the one open again. So you still see a line. You're gonna take it out with what you put it in with. So we're still working our way down and trying to make sure that transition is smooth as possible between the two panels. So now we're down to the half guard, just trying to follow through, going all the way through the system and trying to clean up that fade. So what I do to get a better idea of how we're looking is I'll put a line on it, kind of putting your picture in a frame. So once I do that, you're gonna see that certain things are gonna start popping out. So that's what I saw after I put the line on it, and we're gonna get back to it and focus on those areas. Back at it, I know that the highest point I used was a 2 close, so just to play it safe, I'm going with the 2 close again at the ridge of the head, and then I'm gonna work my way down again. So that's the 1.5, and we're just gonna go through your system again, just fade it all the way down, to try to clean up some of those troubled areas. I'm not gonna lie, this haircut, it gave me some trouble. At least this side of the head, it gave me some trouble. So now what I try to do is I work on one side, try to figure out that side, and then when you get to the next side, for me it's a much easier process. And I try to take it to the back of the head to a certain extent, so that way when you get to the back, it's a lot less area that you have to fade. As you can also see, I switched my clipper. I typically use, those are the Wahl Seniors. I typically use those for my detail work. For some reason, I just feel like it gives me a smoother finish than with the Babyliss FXs. So as you can see there, it cleaned up a bit. You know, there's still a couple areas in there, and so we're gonna go back. So yeah, just make sure you're constantly looking at the mirror. I tell you what, recording your haircuts, even if you don't post them, is super helpful, because that camera lens is going to see stuff that the human eye is just not going to see. So I feel like that's the biggest difference with recording the haircuts, is that you get that extra eye. It's like an extra advantage. It's like pretty much perfect vision. You know what I'm saying? You want picture perfect haircuts or Instagram quality or whatever. You just want to give the person a decent haircut. I feel like you're not going to get a better view than what you see on the camera. So to be honest, I got tired with that side. So I just said, forget about it. Let's move on. So now you see me going in on the other side, working out these panels. I sped this side up because I go through it a lot quicker. And since we already explained it on the other side, you guys should pick up on what's going on. So I did 2 again, and just working through that system. Just get through your system as soon as possible, so that way you can get back into it and then fade it out. And he does have a number 3 on top, a 3-guard close. So yeah, I know that's the finishing point up top. So we're just going through, trying to work out these dark spots, trying to make sure that transition from the skin to the number 3 on top is as smooth as possible. It's a lot of detail work. Just get through your system as fast as you can, and then start working out those darker and lighter areas. So just like I did on the other side, I'm putting on that line, and instantly I see that line right there where the arrows are. So we gotta get that. So this right here, I was showing that his hairline is a lot more bang than it is taking the follicle. So don't get confused thinking you're pushing somebody back if you're not going to the hair follicle. So he had a lot of bang area, so we had a lot of space to work with. So I noticed that once I put that line on again, when you put that line on, it's like painting a new picture. So I saw that and went after that dark spot. So now we're trying to go back and touch up the fade. So I noticed that I brought this side up, the fade. It's a little higher than the other side. Yeah, we started at the same point, but the fade, the blend is a little more spread out on this side. So after we get done with this side, we're gonna go back and make sure you got the same kind of fade on both sides. You don't want to have the low fade on one side and the mid fade looking on one other side, or you just want it to be balanced, a nice balanced haircut. So now we're working on the sideburns. One of my pet peeves is hair in the ears. So you saw, I took the brush and tried to get it out of there. Just irks my soul. I don't know why, but it just does. So there you go. As you can see, we're getting back on that side, trying to make sure the fade is balanced. So we're trying to make sure that, yeah, it's a good cut on both sides all the way around. So I can't even lie to y'all, like, cutting hair is probably the hardest thing that I've ever done. Like, typically I pick things up pretty quickly, but cutting hair has definitely been a challenge, man, and it's a challenge that I have embraced and that I'm so motivated to get better at, because, you know, who doesn't want to be good at something that they try? You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe it's the competitive nature in me. Like, anytime I'm challenged with something I'm not that great on, you just gotta attack it, and you gotta figure it out. And the process has been crazy. It's been a lot of struggle, but, you know, we're moving in the right direction and just trying to get better and better with every cut. That's the goal. As long as you're learning something from each cut, then you're doing something right, because obviously not every cut is gonna be perfect, but as long as you're taking something away that'll help you on the next cut, you'll get there. So now I'm trying to we're marrying the back to the sides. I always cut the back of the head at this angle so that you can see how it marries to the side of the head, because you don't want it to look like 3 different haircuts. You want the side, the back, and then the other side. You want it to, no matter which way you look at his head, you want to make sure that your cut looks good. So as you can see, we still got that little piece there. Trying to make sure that transition is smooth. Excuse me being in the way. Rookie recording problems. Still trying to find that perfect angle so where I'm not in the way when we're recording these videos. So now we're just taking it down and just making sure that the gradients is the same on both sides that we're matching it to. So what are some things that you guys are challenged with during your haircuts? Like some or certain types of haircuts that you guys find you have problems with, or what? That'll be nice to know. So you see there's still a dark spot right there at the top of his head. So we're working that out. And that's what I was saying. So a lot of the times with the human eye probably wouldn't even have caught that, to be honest with you. It might seem obvious to other people, but the fact that I seen it on the camera and it really stuck out like a sore thumb. So we got back to it, and I'm lining them up with my Tune 45 razor handle. That is a custom razor handle. It's one of one, so don't expect to see it anytime soon or ever. So there it is. So y'all get in that comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about the cut. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Put the notification bell on, and let's grow. All right? I'm out.